Oh man, the bracket of hell.
No.
Oh.
What?
No, dramatic.
Why are people so quick to retweet this? Oh man.
Foaming at the mouth.
Boy, they better get that camera off Wyoming, dude. It's not going to go Wyoming's way.
Yikes. Yeah.
There's no way. They put Rutgers and Notre Dame in with Wyoming, and Wyoming's toast, dude. Which is dumb. They should have gotten in over Notre Dame.
I can't believe Notre Dame got in.
Yeah, it's malarkey.
Looks like they're setting up UNC Kentucky again. Oh, that's what some people are saying. Bought my tickets.
I don't know about that. I don't think Kentucky's a 1 seed. Maybe I'm. No.
Ooh, someone said they hate this draw.
I don't. I like the more I've looked. Like, yeah, I don't hate it.
Bro, look at.
They said, why we get the
We could have gotten Colgate in the first round as a 3 seed. Like people need to like cross themselves and thank their lucky stars, man.
Yeah, and somebody pointed out on Twitter. I'll just give them a shout out quick. Duke Ball 1132 said no UNC in Greenville, which is money.
Oh, okay.
Not having them. I don't know. I just think the other side probably got announced as the other Greenville side. I think already got announced, so they weren't in it. That's what somebody's saying. I don't know. I'd
be surprised by that. I mean, maybe Auburn, maybe.
Auburn will be there, yeah. Somebody said Chip Kelly Burner said pray to Duke fans in Greenville because they got to deal with Auburn fans.
Yeah, I welcome everyone.
Auburn's
coming
in
in.
Alabama though. Like that's not that close to South
Put
Carolina.
your thoughts in the comments of what you think of the bracket. Obviously, it's still the whole field is still being announced and whatnot. But
we already got a shout out for Russ's hair. Random, but I love your hair, Duke better.
Let's go. Let's go.
We got Russ. We got Ryan here. We got Meg joining us today.
Bring it in.
Miami and Louisville. Oh, Miami fans might show up.
That's fine. What, all 5 of them?
Oh yeah. If we do get Davidson, this is a good point. Davidson. That guy,
and isn't Davidson? Where's David? Isn't Davidson located somewhere down there?
Yeah, they're right there. It's North Carolina. They're in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Charlotte. Yeah, that's close to Greenville.
Yeah. All right. So
they will be favored against Michigan State, and if they're not, I'm gonna slam.
We'll jump
money
into it. Just gotta do the intro. You know the vibes.
Nobody outside of Kentucky cares about that rivalry.
Exactly.
Who cares about
wins 2015 or 2010, and everybody is saying 2015. So
I just got back up here, Jeremy, a couple days ago. So I've been in the gym a little bit. Me and Joey been in the gym working out together.
As Duke fans, as Duke coaches, you know, but I get excited over there, even in my suit, I'm grabbing Coach Tyler's leg, like.
Oh man, the hot takes are coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, we got our bracket. Shout out to the West region.
We're going west, baby.
We're going to West. We got Greenville first at least, but going to San Francisco, wherever we're going, I don't even know.
And if you want to go to any of these games,
a segue! Go ahead, bro. Go on.
If you want to go to any of these games, TickPick's the place to go. Promo code Duke Nation gets you some money off. It works for this whole tournament. Hopefully, we're in it for a while. So go get yourself some tickets. Show out, because Greenville, like people have pointed out before we went live here, is in the heart of Davidson country. Auburn fans will be there. Miami's going to be there. So we need all the blue we can, because in the past it's not been great when we've played in South Carolina without a lot of Duke fans. So show up, TickPick, promo code Duke Nation. Thank you.
Great segue. Wow,
at least we're not actually playing South Carolina there.
Mel said, "Shut up, Ryan."
It's because Mel panicked and already bought her tickets. So,
and shout out to the Devils, Dan. But yeah, Duke is a 2 seed in the West.
UNC 8 seed against Baylor in the East. They just announced.
Yeah,
in Fort Worth.
They're playing first though.
They make UNC versus Marquette is the matchup. Oh boy,
UNC gonna win that game. They might win that game.
I'm pretty high on Marquette. I like Marquette.
I don't trust Marquette.
Bro, I don't
But
trust UNC.
but yeah, okay. First up, Duke, we're playing who we playing?
Cal
Cal
State
State.
Fullerton.
Cal State Fullerton.
Hey, shout out
I'm
Cal State
sorry.
Fullerton. Great baseball school, man. They've been at the College World Series
Why
multiple times.
you
That's the
giving
only
them-
reason I know that.
Why are you giving them credit, man? Why are you
I'm
giving
just
them
a school. I'm saying I'm not like you trying to pronounce the name. I have heard of Cal State Fullerton before,
I've
due to
heard of
them
Cal
being a
State
baseball
Fullerton.
school, not a basketball school.
Whatever.
Shout out Wyoming. They just got in.
Yep, they did.
First game, Michigan, and the second game is possibly Michigan State or Davidson. Two very competitive matchups for us. What's your first thoughts coming in? I guess Russ, let's go first since you're on my right.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think anyone who wanted a 3 seed anywhere else over this is certifiable. like look at the teams on the 14 line that we have to play if we were going to play one of those teams. Montana State. Yeah, I talked to my buddy Jim, who did the podcast with me recently. He's a bracketologist. He says Montana State is like the best team on the 14 line, would be 13 team level strong. Really likes them. Colgate is on the 14 line. Longwood rains threes, right? Like there are so many super dangerous 14 seeds. So you've got to get a 15 seed that is reasonable first. That's a great place to start. I think we got that. And then in the second round, Michigan State, Davidson. Yeah, Davidson can fill it up. There's no question. Like, I don't think Michigan, I'm not that concerned about Michigan State. If Davidson fills it up, then we're toast. But like, if we can defend, Davidson is not a very good defensive program, generally speaking. So also a pretty decent draw. I think the Sweet 16 against Texas Tech is a nightmare. I think that the idea of playing Gonzaga in San Francisco is a nightmare. But I tell you what, in terms of our chances of success increase if our first weekend is more manageable. And I think our first weekend is far more manageable as a 2 seed in the West than any 3 seed. Like they just announced Purdue's right.
Yale.
You know what I mean? Purdue's got Yale, which would be a nightmare. And then Texas is on the other side. Obviously, they wouldn't have made it Virginia Tech as the 11. But, I mean, look at those 11 seeds. Iowa
Virginia
State
Tech was an
really
11
tough.
seed, though? Virginia Tech an 11 seed. That's crazy, man.
They should have been a 12. But, yeah. Yeah, but Virginia Tech's also very strong in the analytics. So, yeah, that's the end of my rant. I think the bracket is great. I don't know that it bodes well for a super lengthy run unless we figure out how to defend, obviously. But in terms of avoiding embarrassment, it's a very, very healthy bracket, I think.
All right.
Yeah, my with my thing is I saw the bracket come out first, and I'm like, oh, Davidson, oh, Michigan State. When I was thinking about Michigan State, it's like you think of Michigan State because I've tweeted out, we get put in the same region with Michigan State for God knows what reason. It seems like every other year. And I was like kind of panicking. But then you think about Michigan State is not the same Michigan State team of the past. They have no playmaker to go to. They have no shot maker to go to. Max Christie's okay. Gabe Brown's okay. They have a few okay players. They're just an okay team. Davidson's probably going to beat them, which is what everybody's saying, and what will probably be a very favorable prediction out of everybody. So
March,
Davidson
man.
is playing Davidson
problem.
is a little bit more scary. But other than that, Cal State Fullerton, I was looking. I'm not going to act like I know anything about Cal State Fullerton, but they don't shoot the 3-point ball well at all. They rank over 200 in the nation in attempts, or over 300th in the nation in attempts, over 200 in percentage. They're a very small team. They don't score a lot of points. I just can't see that happening. Obviously, crazier things have happened. But then you look at that Davidson or Michigan State game, and I personally just want to get out of that first weekend, man. Let's just get out of the first weekend, then we'll focus on either Texas Tech or whoever we have after that. Yeah, I'm not scared of Michigan State. And I watched Davidson play today. I'm not acting like I'm a Davidson Bobo, but like they didn't scare me that much at all. They have one guy down in the paint, Luka Brankovic, and he's big, but he's no bigger than Paulo, and that's their biggest guy. Doesn't have any post moves, nothing. So like,
just to stop you there, did Hunter Couture scare you either coming to the game? He didn't scare me.
Touche.
He didn't scare me.
Touche.
He's got 31,
But they, I believe, if I'm looking at the stats right, Davidson's shooting percentage is 3-point shooting percentage is 7th in the country at 38%. They take 22 of them. Yeah, they shoot 38% from three, top 10 in the country. So that scares me a little bit. I think that'll be a point of emphasis all week with coaching staff. I hope it is. So I'm way too optimistic now that I've seen the bracket. Now that I've seen everything, I'm feeling way better than I was 9 hours ago, whatever, or 24 hours ago, whatever it was. Feeling much better than then. Yeah, man. It's just and Davidson's small, man, and they got shooters, so they're kind of like a sneaky Virginia Tech team. If you don't guard the 3-point line, we could be in trouble. But hey, we got to get there first, and they got to take care of business too, and then I'll be a little more worried. But
Meg,
let's
what
go.
are your thoughts?
Meg, what do you got?
Wake Forest was not even one of the first 4 out.
Wow.
Suck it, Wake Forest. You're dumb.
Wow.
They didn't deserve to make it.
They did not deserve to make it. Their resume is terrible.
Go ahead.
A&M didn't even make it.
Honestly, none of this matters unless they're going to play defense. They've got to figure out how to guard shooters. That's it for me. I mean, all these teams are smaller. They can shoot well. Like Ryan said, that's concerning. So if we can figure out how to guard them, I'm not concerned. If we play like we did earlier this season, defensively against Gonzaga, Kentucky, even the first time we played Virginia Tech, I'm not concerned. But that's a big if. Huge if.
Yeah. And that's why I think this is the bracket of death. I don't know where all this positivity came from. This is a tough bracket.
Who are you scared of?
It's not even being scared of anybody, bro. I'm not scared of anybody in the country, but knowing how we played recently, there are several dangerous matchups. Davidson obviously is a match. I think Michigan State is not getting enough. I think you're downplaying what they could. It's just Michigan State too. Like it's Tom Izzo. He's gonna, although K owns Izzo for the most part, he's gonna be ready for the matchup. So it's gonna be a bloodbath regardless. Then on the top of this bracket is scaring. I just said no one scares me, but like Alabama and Texas Tech, whoever gets out of that is giving us trouble.
Russ, weren't you saying put in your Montana State nugget there that you were saying?
Montana State. My buddy Jim said Montana State is the best of the 14 seeds by a lot, and he said that should be a team that Duke would look to avoid when we thought that we were going to get a 3 seed, which is certainly what our resume sort of would have reflected. I mean, the counter what you're saying, Zion, is like what better bracket is there? I mean, like playing like the Baylor, UCLA, Purdue bracket. Like,
yeah, that bracket stinks.
You know what I mean? Like now the Midwest is the easiest bracket by a landslide, I would say, but like the South and the East both suck. I mean, like, getting Arizona, getting Tennessee, in the South, if we were the 2 seed there, which we wouldn't have been anyway.
Someone on Twitter said Alabama plays zero defense. Well, no, neither do we. Neither do we. And they can score the lights out. So that's where I see when they play at their peak, they could beat anybody in the country. That's really
Alabama's not gonna make it to the Sweet 16.
I can't see them doing it either.
That's my hope. I'd
be stunned. I mean, Texas Tech is a monster, I think. And frankly, like every single year that they have had this first 4, one of the play-in teams has won a first-round game. I think Alabama, like losing to Notre Dame or something like that, makes complete sense in my book. Like I could see that happening very, very easily. Or Rutgers, honestly. I mean, Alabama has struggled some down the stretch. I just think that having your top seeds be number 1, a team that we already beat, like not saying that makes it easy. It obviously doesn't.
That makes it harder.
It doesn't make it harder, but it makes it just makes it what it is. It just makes it what it is. Like, but it is a team that we have shown provably that we can beat, and we beat them on the West Coast, right? The 3 seed is the one that's hard for me to like hurdle. The 4 seed Arkansas, I'm not sweating Arkansas at all. 5 seed UConn, not sweating them. Alabama, yes, at their peak can be good, but they can also lose to literally anyone.
So can we.
No, I think this bracket
That's the
is.
thing. Anybody can though. Like anybody, I feel like there's nobody like majorly dominant that I'm like, man, I'm horrified to play them. Like nobody. There's
Yeah,
nobody with
it's
2 or 3 like Gonzaga.
I disagree with Amy, by the way. Completely disagree with Amy. Sorry, on the tweet there that was just put up. Sorry.
take Tennessee's place as a 3. That's crazy.
Have Longwood rain threes on us in the first round, and then have to play Colorado State and then Villanova. Get out of here, bro.
Literally, and I think Russ, you mentioned it. The only other region that I would have maybe preferred to play in was that Midwest, where you take Auburn's spot, and you got Wisconsin and Providence as like those two have a really good chance of losing in the first round. So that's probably the only other region. I don't want to go to the East. I don't want to go play. I wouldn't want to take Kentucky's spot and have to go up against Purdue, UCLA, Baylor, like all that matchup, and then possibly maybe in North Carolina. That's not going to happen. But I think there are worse matchups out there than what we got. And I definitely didn't want to go to Villanova in the South there, where we be with Tennessee and Illinois and Arizona. That's a death region right there. And poor Tennessee took our spot to go out there.
I mean, like those 14 seeds are just so much harder than the 15 seed we got. Like your chances of making the Final Four increase exponentially if you think with great certainty that you can win in the first round. And I feel very good about the matchup that we got in the first round. If we played Montana State, Longwood, Colgate, or Yale, I'd be like, man, they're going to be hungry, dude. And if we're not on our shit, then this thing could end badly. Fullerton, I feel okay about.
Did they announce when we're playing? Thursday?
I think we're Friday. I saw somebody tweet out that we have an extra day, but I haven't seen anything yet.
All right, this is a good question from Crystal. I mean, now that we have the paths, now that we have him, we'll go one by one. How far do you think we're going? Everybody in comments chime in. How far do you think Duke goes?
If I'm putting my money on it?
Right, what are we gambling with?
Right.
Yeah.
Like as a fan, am I hope? What do I hope?
Now, what do you see? What do you see happening in your mind? Not your heart.
I think we get to the Sweet 16, and probably if Texas Tech is there, they would be favored over us.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, they're higher in every predictive service.
They'd be favored. I don't think Vegas favorites them. I think that there's too much public money on Duke that Duke gets like a 2 or 3.
I think gamblers are going to be very happy to fade Duke in Vegas, considering how we've played down the stretch. Like, I think generally you're right that like Duke just gets like a recognition point or two. I think in the tournament we're going to get a fade point for like the same reason, right? Just recognition factor. So Texas Tech is really tough. I do think we could beat Gonzaga again if we played them again. I really do. They've got some defensive like mismatch stuff that like we could figure out. I mean, the Drew Timme situation there is not too different from the Paolo Banchero situation that we've been dealing with in the last week or two. So like there's interesting things that we could do with Gonzaga. I think Texas Tech is the tough one. Like we need to hope that they get.
So what are you saying? Sweet 16?
I feel good about the Sweet 16 at this juncture.
Making it and losing in the
I kind of do. Like unless we defend the way that we were defending 3 to 4 weeks ago, in which case I us to emerge from this bracket.
Unless there's no unless.
I see a lot of comments in Twitter saying Elite 8. Ryan, what you got?
Well, and
Texas Tech, man, they just don't know the name. Like
I've watched a decent amount of Big 12 basketball. Texas Tech scares me a little bit. They're kind of like a better Michigan State in my opinion. They have a lot of just good players. None of them like scare me as far as a matchup goes. Every year, no matter what, I pick Duke in my bracket because I would never let myself live it down if I didn't pick Duke and they won it and then I lost on all that money. So Duke will be my national champion on every bracket that I submit. I have to do that. It's never going to happen. So I'll just go. I mean, we're sending Coach K out with a banner, right? Like that's the only way this is going to go. I mean,
I'd love to see it.
We're going to beat Cal State Fullerton easily. It's going to get the confidence up. We're going to go in and we're going to play probably Davidson. As long as we can get by them, I know they're legit. I know Texas Tech is legit, but we have way more playmakers than they can. And like Russ said, if our defense comes back, there's nothing that can stop this team. And Gonzaga is really my next biggest worry at that point. And I'm not convinced Gonzaga is going to be there. And I'm not saying Memphis is that great of a team. Memphis has been rolling lately. That matchup, I would love to see a little Jalen Duran next to Drew Timme or Chet Holmgren. Russ is like, I'm not even listening to this garbage right now.
Memphis might not be there in the second round.
I'm not saying they will be, but that matchup would be awesome from a media standpoint, from just like a matchup standpoint. They have really good guard play. Memphis does not really good. They have good guard play. I just think it could cause a little bit of fits for Gonzaga. I'm not picking it. I'm just saying, just watch out for that Memphis team if they can get past Boise State, because Boise State's legit. But I'm going banner number 6. We're sending Coach K out on a national championship. That's how it's going.
Okay.
Meg.
That's a head and heart thing.
That's both. I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna do it. And then everybody at the end of the year, Russ can start retweeting everybody that's saying this was rigged for Coach K's. He got the 2 seed. Duke wins it for his final one. Is all rigged. We'll hear it for the rest of our lives.
Dude,
so
if it's rigged, I'm overjoyed. I hope they do rig it.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope they rig so we can win. That's all I want, man.
Exactly. So, all right, national championship. That's my prediction. Meg, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. I think that it can be done. If I have not seen this team play the way that they've played and come together on a neutral court against top talent, I am a little worried about Arkansas possibly, but not terribly. But I'm with Ryan. I feel like they're going to step up, and this is going to be it. Gonzaga a little bit, just because it's hard to beat somebody twice. It's hard to beat somebody 3 times. But I'm not scared of any of these teams. Like 2015, I was kind of worried about Kentucky, and then hopefully somebody else can handle some of these threats. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it's been pretty crazy so far. I mean, Auburn lost. We've had big teams take some major losses this last week, so hopefully it'll happen again and we can get some help and move right through.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying national champion? You're saying national championship? Okay.
I'm saying at least Final Four.
Okay, so you're not committed to national championship yet.
Now I am. I'm with you, Ryan. National championship.
I was just laughing while I was talking because someone said, "I feel like Russ is not wearing pants right now."
Yeah, I saw that.
I got shorts on.
That's why I was laughing. But
he's in California. They don't need to wear pants out there, anyways.
Right? Yeah.
I got these thighs out in the sun, baby.
Oh man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let me envision that. Hold on. I'm trying to go back to the bracket. I need to get back to the bracket. Where's the bracket? There we go. If I have to be real,
let
me be real for a second. No. People say I gave up on this team. I didn't give up on this team yet. Relax. I think we get out the first weekend. And that it just depends if we see Texas Tech.
No, you got to call it. We all had to call something. You made us all stick to one. We got 2 national championships. We got 1. I think you said Sweet 16 is the seal, is what you said, right, Russ?
I said, yeah. No, he said we lose in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. That's where we get to.
I mean, like, I want to point out a couple of things. Like, let's think about what I wrote down before the show even started. I said, I'm a little less worried about, obviously we can lose to a team that just makes a billion threes. Like that can happen to anyone, but also those teams can also get blown out by 30 if they're not falling. Like there's a lot of variance when a team shoots a bunch of threes. The teams that I don't like playing in March generally are, I definitely have flashbacks to the last time we played in South Carolina, like gritty, physical, defensive-minded teams that pack it in, that lure us into trying to shoot the ball a bunch, right? And then we have to end up relying on our defense to win the game because our offense is going to be stymied by a really good defense. Texas Tech is the best defense in college basketball, just straight up. They turn over teams at a top 10% in the country. They pack it in, hard pack line defense, right? And they turn teams over a bunch. Like if we win, we've got to win shooting threes. Like we've got to shoot over them to win. And I just don't love when we have to do that. The big weakness that Texas Tech has also is that they turn the ball over a lot.
And they
But
don't
what-
shoot the 3-pointer well at all.
They don't shoot the three well, which is fair, but we also don't really pack it in much on defense, and we definitely don't turn teams over ever.
All right,
So-
hold on one second. Before we get back to Zion, somebody in the comments at JNorris5 said, I would rather be the 3 seed where Tennessee is. And I'm going to contact your family and you need to be drug tested, my man. That is an asinine assumption. All right, let's get back to Zion.
You
Zion was
going
going
to Longwood shoot 53s against us.
We're giving Zion too much time to think about how he wants to answer
I
this.
know,
So
look
Zion,
at
let's
me,
get back.
pondering. I don't like that
I
look
know.
on his face.
I think Texas Tech is a tough matchup, and if you think we make it past the Sweet 16, I think it has to be that Texas Tech is not there.
I think because I agree, Texas Tech is a great defensive team. They've always been. That's always been their calling card. But
They're very experienced too, top 50 in experience this year.
They can't score, so that's my only thing is like, I think if we do get in a slugfest with them, I think we can kind of pull it out. So I'll say
You know what the cure for not being able to score is, Zion?
What?
Playing us right now, sadly.
I think we'll be fine. I think we could with a week of practice, maybe I think we'll be all right. We'll to get that game. I think we lose in the Elite Eight. I say we're losing 88 to Gonzaga. I really have no confidence, not no confidence, but I'm not that confident in the second game against Gonzaga because I feel like we're a different team from when we played them. They're a different team, and they have film on us, and I think that's gonna hurt us, and but
the film will be different. I mean, like we definitely AJ was definitely not AJ there as much. I think there are things that would be different, but I was saying before the bracket came out, there's this sense that I feel like when people would ask me who I think is going to win it all, I think back to Duke getting embarrassed by UNLV in the title game and then winning it all the next year, or Virginia getting embarrassed in the first round and then winning it all the next year. When you have a public embarrassment spectacle in the tournament and you bring a lot of people back and generally get stronger, you're so motivated. You are just so motivated. I really like their chances at going all the way just in general. So,
all right,
yeah.
so let's okay. So Zion, you said lose to Elite Eight. All right, now let's do Final Four predictions then from everywhere else. And Zion, since you had the most time last time to think about it, I say we go straight to you on this one. Who's your Final Four?
This is tough.
I mean,
this is tough.
I think Gonzaga gets there from our side.
Okay.
I haven't even seen the whole bracket, to be honest.
Just type in CBS Sports printable bracket.
In fact, you gotta go because I need to see the bracket first. Sorry.
Okay, we'll go Russ then.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it much. I'm putting Arizona because I told you I got a huge futures bet on Arizona. So we're gonna will that into existence. I also just think they have a really good chance. I like somebody emerging from the top part of that bracket. I mean, I know, Ryan, we were talking about this before. I think Houston is a really sneaky pick if you want to pick a lower than a top 3 seed team to go to the Final Four.
I don't not like UAB, but they got very lucky to have UAB as their 12, I will say.
Yeah, UAB, I think Houston will play with them. Yeah, and if Fabian White's healthy, Arizona or Houston there. I'm going to say Arizona for my bet. Midwest, okay. I mean, the Midwest is pretty atrocious. I think this is another place where you could get cute and just pick any team. I know Iowa's going to be a really sexy pick after today, certainly. I don't know. Auburn, I'll go Auburn. Throw my hands up at the Midwest. I think the Midwest is kind of whack. Yeah. And then in the East, I mean, drag me over hot coals, man. I think I have to go Kentucky. A lot
of people have been saying Kentucky has a really easy bracket.
I will say Murray State.
They have a very hard bracket.
Yeah, I mean, if they match up, and I kind of was thinking the same thing. I wanted to pick Kentucky too because I think they're good enough to do it. But they got to go through Murray State, which is a sleeper pick that if they were in anybody else's region, that might be a sexy 7/2. They have Purdue. That Purdue matchup with Oscar Tshiebwe against Zach Edey or whatever his name is, that'll be a really good matchup if it happens. And then don't sleep on Baylor and UCLA. I'm not a huge UCLA guy, but that's a tough region, man.
St. Mary's. I mean,
yeah.
Like St. Mary's could get there. Like any of Baylor, St. Mary's, UCLA, Kentucky. I'm not as big a believer in Purdue, but they're very dangerous. I mean, like that's 4 teams I think could be very realistic Final Four teams. And yeah, you could get cute with Murray State and have them go to the Elite Eight also, certainly. You could get cute with St. Mary. Yeah,
all right, Russell, you're going Gonzaga, and then you said Arizona.
I'll say Gonzaga, Arizona, Auburn, Kentucky. It's very chalky. There's not like a cute pick in there. I'll probably Although I think generally if you're filling out a bracket, the best advice is to get cute in the first weekend, and then you should always have like 2 1s and 2 2s or 2 or 3 1s and a 2 in your Final Four.
Yeah. All right, Meg, you got yours locked and loaded.
Duke in the West, obviously. Okay. I guess I would say Kentucky.
Okay.
Purdue's. Yeah. And the South. God, this is all hard, guys. I'm taking Nova out of the South.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
I hate Villanova.
I do too, but that's why I'm going to take them. So hopefully I'll just jinx them. In Auburn. I'm picking Auburn just because.
Where's
okay, so you and Russ are similar. You just have Villanova instead of Arizona.
Yeah,
not bad. I like it. I can see it.
Teams with windows.
I gotta go now?
All right, Zion, let's hear it.
I'm just looking at the bracket now, to be honest, but let me see.
Me too, Zion. So let's go. I just looked at mine right now.
I'll go Gonzaga. Boo, boo. I didn't go Duke.
Tomato.
I might go Loyola Chicago. No, I'm joking. But low key, we have to consider Loyola Chicago because every time this time of year, come on, God.
They could make the Sweet 16. I believe that they could beat Villanova.
Ohio State. Man, there are so many good 10 seeded teams and 13 and 14 seeded teams this year. Yikes.
I'll go in the South. I don't like this side. It's kind of weak to me.
Weak.
This is weak. Villanova has been as a fraud team to me. It's always been a fraud team.
Tennessee hasn't been though lately. Houston's been decent lately. Arizona's one of the best teams.
Villanova is a very fraud team because they're just old. Like they're just an old team. Like that's really it. They're really just old.
But Zion, they said everybody on my Twitter feed is telling me that we should be recruiting like Villanova and running our program like Villanova.
I mean, yeah, if you want a bunch of fifth years, all common players.
Duke doesn't win because they don't have any old people.
I'll pick Tennessee in this bracket. I'll pick Tennessee.
Yeah. All right.
This bracket right here, I can't pick Tennessee. I can't do it. But
who else are you gonna pick? Baylor's a fraud.
I don't think Baylor. For the record, I do not think Baylor.
Are they healthy?
No, Baylor's not healthy. They're not healthy, and fraud's a strong word. I'm just not a Baylor. This isn't Baylor of last year.
UCLA in that bracket is dangerous.
UCLA has been the biggest fraud to me. That I will use fraud for UCLA.
I agree.
But in that bracket, though, like matchup,
I do like Purdue's path, though.
Yeah,
I like their path.
They just don't defend. They're so terrible on defense.
Yeah, they're just gonna get caught on the wrong night. That's why
that game will be boring. Purdue and Yale. Neither of those.
I'll pick Kentucky. I'll pick Kentucky, and then in this bracket. In my Midwest, I'll pick Auburn.
Okay.
So I'll go Kentucky, Auburn, Gonzaga, and Tennessee.
Man, the pressure's on because I think a lot of
us are fairly consensus on a couple of those.
Yeah, I think the thing is like I hate when people I don't hate, but like when I'm watching bracket preview stuff, like the minute the bracket comes out, it's like you're gonna change those. Like, and I'll probably change mine at some point when I fill it out. But Duke obviously right away. I really like Arizona. I've kind of been high on them recently, even though I'm not a huge Pac-12 fan. So I'm going Duke, Arizona. I was thinking about because I don't have a sexy pick either, but Duke, Arizona. I don't know who's going to beat Kansas. Auburn, maybe.
You want to talk fraud? You want to talk fraud?
Kansas is a very fraudulent.
Always
Yeah,
are.
but I mean, who's going to beat them to get to the Elite Eight? And then in the Elite Eight, they're going to be going up against an
Hey.
Auburn, Wisconsin, LSU. Like who?
Ryan, I got something for you. San Diego State, maybe.
Okay, I'll give you that. Even Alex O'Connell's Creighton
pick your four. Pick your four. We need to get back to
I'm going
talking,
Kansas.
talking
I'm going Duke, Arizona, Kansas, and then it's whoever wins that Purdue Kentucky game. But I'm going to go Kentucky. It's March, man. Kentucky doesn't. It's just kind of their thing to get to the Elite Eight at least. So I'm going to go with Kentucky. I think they have enough firepower to overcome Purdue, and they don't, like you said, Purdue doesn't play defense, and Kentucky can score quite a bit. So Duke, Arizona, Kansas, Kentucky, 2 seeds and 2 1 seeds.
I think Baylor and Kentucky, first of all, would be a hell of a game. I think Baylor matches up real nicely. I mean, like they've definitely got some of the size on the inside. They've got great wing play. Like that's the one thing that I have not loved from Kentucky.
All right, I'm gonna cut y'all off. We got to get back to talking Duke.
No, all right, fair enough.
We talking too. We break it down too much.
We're scouting potential title game.
Man, we here for Duke and Duke only, man. Duke and Duke only.
Fair enough.
But who's gonna be a player we need to step up to make this March Madness run?
I'm gonna say. Would you say, Russ?
The coach.
Yeah, the coach. But if we're going strictly players, Trevor Keels has got to play way better. I tweeted out earlier, and it's kind of been a known stat for a while now. But I think we are now like 11-0 when he scores more than 13 points in a game we haven't lost. So as long as he's doing his thing, Roach for sure. But Roach also has been playing well lately. We need Keels to step it up. We need a little bit more consistency out of Griffin. Griffin's hasn't been. He has a game, then he doesn't have a game, then he has a game, then he doesn't have a game. So like just the consistency factor needs to be there. But Keels, I think, is my guy right now. That you got to stop turning the ball over, and you got to produce a little bit more, and this team can go pretty far.
Who you got, Russ?
I mean, my main pick would be Paolo. Like I've said before, I'll say it again. I think he's got to put the team on his shoulders in the big moments. Like we just need good play from him. And also on the defensive end, like against Davidson, if he's not closing out on threes aggressively, then it's going to be a bad time. So like I want to see him, just crank up the defense a little bit. He does a lot. I can't emphasize enough. There's so much slander, Paolo slander on the timeline that I see, and it's absurd to me. But I think that he needs to be like all-American style Paolo, which we have seen from him if we want to make a Final Four run. And I'd love to see it happen on both ends.
Man, who you got?
Wendell, man.
Captain
the oldest
Dell.
person. Our oldest person. I don't think he's oldest, but I just expect him to really come out hard. Like, I think he was a huge factor against Gonzaga and Kentucky when we beat them earlier. That leadership, but also Keels too. Like Ryan said, like yesterday was rough for Keels. And I could be wrong. I feel like he had some pretty ugly turnovers last night. So just not going to happen. So I would say Wendell. Also, Paolo's got to be consistent too, obviously. But
Meg just says everybody's got to play better. And I agree. I mean, I agree with you.
Like from looking at like Sunday or Saturday, everybody's got to play better. But I mean, I feel like Wendell's gonna come through.
Yeah, a lot of people spamming the comments with Keels.
And I think it's because Keels is fresh. I think it's because that's what we saw last night. And
100%.
Theo John, that's a good one. Theo's got to stop the damn fouling. Good God. I put it on Twitter the other night. Like, I don't know if it knows there's like a basketball game going on, or if he's just trying to like catch a body, a charge, a physical charge, an assault charge, anything.
He's become Josh Hairston 2.0, really.
Grab a rebound. Quit pushing rebounds. Quit playing volleyball. Grab the ball.
I don't mind, to be clear. I don't mind Theo going in and just using 5 fouls like in 10 minutes. Like I would love that, honestly. Like we do need guys who, like, I want them to be hard fouls. Like I want him to be a goon.
Right.
I don't want him to pick up some like ticky tack horse shit. Like like make the other team
uncomfortable. Yeah. Not like the ones that, and those weren't on him. I don't feel like those. There were 2 fouls, I think, last night.
There were 3.
Well, were they all like ticky tack though? I know that there were 2 that I remember that I was like, like not usual Theo fouls, if you will.
All right, Zion.
Yeah, we're trying to leave Mark Williams. Like Mark Williams doesn't exist. We're gonna talk about Mark.
A lot of people will say Mark Williams, but like I think to make March Madness runs, you need guard play. I mean, that's really what you've seen that trend over the years. If you have the guard play, you will make a deep tournament run. And sometimes there are going to be matchups where Mark may not be able to play, just the nature. I don't think he's going to be magically able to guard perimeter guys now. So I think we're going to need guard play, and it starts with Wendell. So I think Wendell needs to be the X factor for us to make a deep run. Just because I think we can get away with Keels, having his 4 of 14 games. But if Wendell's not on, I think it's going to affect us a lot. Yeah, and obviously Jeremy. So I think it's going to be a tandem of the guards in general. Like it's hard to single out one of them, but like we just need good guard play.
But I also think we're focusing a lot on the offensive side of the ball right now, when like the offense is just so unfortunately not our issue. Like,
but the guard play is the guards too, like is defense too. Like
largely everyone on defense outside of Mark needs to pick up the ball and go a little harder. Because our guard play down the stretch won't matter if we're down 15. Like it just won't,
No, I saw some people have said in the comments that the starting lineup needs to change, and I've had people tweeted at me about that today too. And it's like we talked about it last night. You don't do that on March 13th or March 18th, whatever day we're going to play. Yeah. You don't change it up now. You can, like I said on Twitter, you can change up the in-game rotations and who's sticking it out there for longer minutes at a time than they normally would. But you can't all of a sudden be like, hey, Keels, you've crapped the bed. He didn't even crap the bed on the entire AC tournament. He didn't play great, but like you can't just be like, all right, we're going back to Jeremy. Jeremy, you're in. Like that's too much. You change the lineup throughout the game, and maybe your last 4-minute lineup is different, but a starting lineup change right now is not the way to go.
It's also purely ceremonial. It means nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, like, if you got guys that don't know that, like if some guys are a little bit bigger in the head than they need to be, then you don't do that going into the biggest event of the year.
What?
And if you're thinking about that anyway, we're toast regardless.
Who is Panchero?
Yes,
so tired. Just I'm so tired of people calling this team soft and not having heart. Can we stop?
Hey, you tell me the last time they came out with an emotional advantage in any game, and I'll be shocked. They haven't done anything to say that they're not soft in the last 2 weeks or in the last week and a half of play. This team's soft right now, Meg. They are.
But I take umbrage with people blaming the players. There's someone else that needs the blame for that, and I don't think that it's the players.
There's somebody else to blame for the in-game situations and the strategy that goes into it. There's not anybody else to blame for just being plain soft and not showing any fight.
Yeah, but if they keep running offense against us that's working, and our defense consistently doesn't work, and the players don't see a change in scheme coming down the pike, it's got to be pretty hard to be like, well, maybe I'll be better on defense this time by sheer tyranny of will. Like it just doesn't work that way. Things need to change from they're
young. Yeah, I mean, they're young.
It's going to be hard. Yeah,
you've got somebody's to push them to that level. Not just you can't do that. You can't rely on them all the time to push each other to that level. Somebody's got to get on their ass. They're young. They deserve to be coached.
Yeah, people talk a lot about on-court leadership and Duke's like I didn't end up saying this on Twitter just because I don't want to like completely blow up my mentions, but there were so many people talking about we have not had a true like on-court leader in several years that's an experienced on-court leader. It's like, man, if only there was an experienced leader type that could help galvanize teams. If only there was a word for what that person could be called.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like if we're looking to a 19-year-old to lead us to the promised land, then we're already done, man. We're done. So
thank you.
Like
number one, when people do say that we haven't had that in a long time, actually we have. Trey Jones was that in
Thank
2020.
you.
Also, Wendell is an upperclassman. Wendell's an upperclassman. This is not some one and done team. Jeremy returned. Mark returned. Wendell is an upperclassman. It's insane for people to be like, boy, the one and done era is really why this team is not playing well down the stretch.
that takes ass time. But the fact that like we have older guys, but none of them are emotional leaders is what is concerning. And like I said, I think this team can win it all. That's my prediction, but they don't have a Quinn Cook who on the floor is going to just go all out as far as emotional will goes. They don't have Trey and Ty has turned into that as well. They don't have anybody, I guess, an emotional leader on the court to turn to look for. I just go back to when we were playing Syracuse and Boeheim was just lighting it up and giving, and so was Joe Girard, and they're signaling to the crowd. They're jumping up and down. Like, they're literally pumping each other up. And then we go down and, like I said on Twitter, we look like we're at our grandma's funeral after we make a three or after AJ makes a three. The only people that are pumped up on the team is the bench, and like everybody in the court is just like. And I was watching for it. I was like, am I overreacting? But no, there's just no emotional firepower behind this team like we have had in the past. And if that doesn't change, which we had it in November against Kentucky, we had it against Gonzaga. Those guys were going nuts on the court after every big play, and we just haven't. And I don't want to put a ton of equity into that because that's not X's and O's, but like there is something to be said about emotional leadership on the court. And if Wendell were to just go at Paulo and just punch him in the chest once and just get everybody pumped up, that goes a long way from a momentum standpoint.
Yeah, I just don't know how much that changes in like maybe in a close game. You're right. Maybe there might be a little bit of that X factor, but like, I mean, Grayson as an upperclassman leader had plenty of emotion, and
Grayson too
struggled. I mean, like, you know, we've had guys with emotion in the past that it doesn't matter at the end of the day when the play calling is not. You know,
I agree. What I'm getting at though is just like the looking like those teams looked like they wanted to be out there and they just weren't good enough. Like they just weren't good teams. This team's so good, but they just don't seem like they. I don't want to say they don't seem like they care. They just don't want it enough. There's no fight as much as there was in those other teams that we had. That's all.
It's just through the expression. I mean, I think they clearly want it. Like I don't think they don't want it.
Yeah, you know what I mean though. Like it's not like they're walking out there thinking they don't want it. It's just there's no emotional firepower behind any of them right now.
If we were winning, I don't think we'd care what their emotional firepower was.
Yeah, but I do feel like
we'd probably be a lot happier, right?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, there's been some rumbles of something, some things happening, but you know,
oh boy, the insider teasing.
Can't tease that.
There's been some rumbles, but no, I think everything's cool. Everything's cool. They're trying to win. They're trying to win. I think we can't just say, oh, these guys have checked out. They're trying to go to the league and whatnot. But I think this coming Friday or Saturday or Friday, Friday is going to be our first step. We'll see if anything has changed. Yeah, but I'm not saying nothing. Stop it. I'm not saying nothing. Let's talk Cal State. Though. What are y'all looking up for on Friday? Does it matter if we blow them out?
Yeah, absolutely it does. This has to be a 15 to 20 point game throughout the majority of the game, and that goes a long way for confidence too, especially if whatever game plan they put together, if they execute it, that goes a long way for confidence, especially. And I'm not saying they lack confidence in Coach K, but putting together a game plan, if they execute it and they dominate, that puts a lot of faith in the players with Coach K too. Just some quick stats I'll rattle off in case people care. Cal State Fullerton shoots 16 threes a game, which is 347th in the country. They shoot it at a 32% clip, which is 261st in the country, and they only score 70 points a game, and that is 202nd in the country. Not an offensive powerhouse by any means. Their defense is okay. They rank 88th in points allowed at 66. So this is just such a gift from God that we got a 15 seed over, or we got a 15 seed over a 14 seed in this matchup, because those 14 seeds we'd be much more worried right now. But yeah, needs to be a 20-point game at least to give this team a little bit of boost going into whoever they face in Michigan State or Davidson.
What do you think? What do you think, Russ? Got to be a blowout. Got their stats up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be favored. I bet we'll be favored by like 18, somewhere in there. I mean, we'll be a pretty hefty favorite. Yeah, I think we need to cover the spread. I think we need to show and prove, and then especially getting some confidence before Davidson. It's just gonna be such a different game too. I mean, as Ryan pointed out, this Fullerton team is not a jump shooting team. That's just not really how they want to go. They want to drive. They want to get fouled. They want to win the game at the free throw line. They're a very good free throw shooting team. Whereas Davidson is like the polar opposite of that, obviously. They want to just jump shoot all day because they're brilliant at it. So that's an interesting series of things to plan for, obviously. We just have to win the first one. I mean, like, survive in advance. I know it's so dumb to say. Like, if we win by like 2 or 3, it's just,
I would be very disappointed.
We'll definitely see a lot of sagging shoulders and sad faces, if we're only winning by 2 over Cal State Fullerton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why I just saw that Tom Brady just announced he's coming back.
Oh my God! What?
But yeah, Meg, take it over. What do you think about Friday?
Is that real life?
Yo, Zion, I actually have to leave. I'll drop a podcast with my whole bracket breakdown.
Yeah, I think honestly, I might have to go do something too. I have to cover this because it's my job full time. But we appreciate y'all for tapping in. We already went 15 minutes anyway. We appreciate y'all surviving events. Yeah, Friday first game. What time is the tip?
Doesn't say yet. Don't know.
Okay, we'll see. All right, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll holler at y'all.
We'll see y'all. Have a good